This edition of i-Italy New York is brought to you by
L'energia non si ferma. Mai. L'energia crea, si trasforma, diventa un'idea per generare nuova energia. Diamo all'energia un'energia nuova.
and Cheerio chopped tomatoes.
In this week's episode, Americans in Love with Italy, Francine Segan meets Dana Cowin. People, Gaetano Pesce's jewelry exhibition in Chelsea. Genius, Fred Gardaphe reviews Learn Sicilia by Gaetano Cipolla. Italian City, Arthur Avenue and 187th Street. Come explore with us an iconic Italian neighborhood. And now let's start with Dana Cowin.
Dana Cowin, Food and Wine Magazine's editor-in-chief since 1995, is one of America's foremost authorities on food, wine, style, and design. Under her leadership, the award-winning magazine has attracted an audience of over 8 million readers. Dana's first cookbook, Mastering My Mistakes in the Kitchen, was named by Publishers Weekly as one of the 10 most notable cookbooks of 2014. Dana is frequently on national television, including regular appearances on Bravo's Top Chef. Among her numerous awards, Dana was named to the James Beard Foundation Who's Who of Food and Beverage in America. I'm delighted that Dana is here today with us to talk about her love of Italian food. Dana, so nice of you to be here.
I'm so excited to be with you.
So let's start with, what does Italy mean to you?
I mean, Italy, just the word makes me smile because it means great food, great wine, great people, and a beautiful place.
And you've traveled to Italy?
I have. I've traveled to Italy as much as I possibly can because of those three things that make me love all things Italian. So, for example, when my daughter was 1, I knew that I wanted to do something with her every single year, and I decided it was going to be a trip to Italy the week of her birthday. So when she was 1 year old, we took her to Italy, and she loved it as a 1-year-old would. You know, I mean, she ate some pasta. Everybody doted on her. It was beautiful. We took her around, you know, through small towns, and it was just great.
Food and Wine often dedicates an entire issue to Italian food. Tell me a little of how that works. How do you pick all the wonderful things?
Well, we all love Italian food at the magazine, but it's not just about us, right? Because we're actually trying to reflect what's happening in the food culture at large, and we're trying to reflect what people really want to eat. So when you take those two things, what people really want to eat and what the restaurateurs are doing, you end up with a lot of coverage of things Italian. So in the last few years, there's been an explosion of Italian restaurants in America, and at every level, from fantastic pizza all around the country, you know, in wood-burning ovens, to really great trattoria food, to you know, more formal Italian. So what I think is interesting is that the Italian Renaissance here has been at every level, at every price point, and also regional. So Americans are getting a very good sense of the breadth of what Italy has to offer. So it's not just a pork, but oh my gosh, it's a Tuscan pork. Or, you know, it's not just mozzarella, it's, you know, buffalo mozzarella, which you would say better than I do. But so it's great to see people sort of dive in. And then you have something like Italy, which of course was started in Italy, but was brought by Mario Batali to the US. And Italy in New York City is a tourist attraction. I mean, people go to the Statue of Liberty and they go to Italy.
And why do you think Italian food is so popular in America?
I think Italian food has everything going for it. First of all, it doesn't matter what type of food you like, whether you like something that has like rich cheeses, they're fantastic Italian rich cheesy dishes. If you like fresh vegetables and you just, want something that seems fresh and just picked from the garden, there's a whole part of Italian cooking that's just for you. If you want something that is meaty, if you want something that's stewy, if you want something, just Italian food offers the tremendous variety and also tremendous freshness, because at its heart, what you're looking at, as you know better than I, and historically, and I'm really looking at modern Italian cooking, but is how fresh and delicious it is. So, that idea that Americans have come to love farm to table, well, the Italians were there way ahead of us.
So true. Speaking of Mario Batali, yes. I love this section in your book with him. Tell us a little about that.
You're so sweet to say that. So I've written a book called Mastering My Mistakes in the Kitchen, because even though I've been the editor of Food and Wine for 20 years, I'm not that great a cook. So I said to Mario, listen, I want to do a baked pasta. And there's this pasta that I do that I've had a bit of trouble with. And my mistake is a little bit embarrassing. It has a bechamel, which in Italian you would pronounce differently.
Bechamel?
Besciamella. I mean, it looks different anyway than bechamel to me. And I decided that it was too thin. And so I was waiting for it to reduce. Yeah, you don't reduce a bechamel. So it was really embarrassing when I discovered it, because I went to the editors at Food and Wine after I'd made this, and I said, my bechamel didn't reduce. And I tried everything. I think it's because I used low-fat milk. And they looked at me and went, you don't reduce a bechamel. So I learned that, and then I went to Mario and said, okay, can you help me with this dish? So we ended up with a really cheesy, really delicious baked pasta that's in my book now.
It's such a wonderful gift that you give us all to have a little piece of Italy and some things that we may not discover on our own. Thank you, Dana, so much. It was such fun chatting with you. And
thank you.
Good luck with
so
the
great
book.
to be here. Thank you.
This is our Italian city. Let's take a little journey with us.
Tra i gioielli di Gaetano Pesce a New York. Perché questo titolo?
È mezza popolazione del mondo, quindi è un'importantissima protagonista della vita di ogni giorno. Secondo me questa metà della popolazione del mondo soffre, anzi la maggior parte di queste persone soffrono a causa dei pregiudizi. Nel mio lavoro ho sempre avuto un particolare interesse a cercare di aiutare questo genere di problemi. Quindi questo titolo è anche per, come dire, questi lavori sono dedicati alla bellezza di queste persone, che è una bellezza molte volte anche interiore.
Sono opere molto gioiose e piene di colori.
Credo che una delle funzioni che noi abbiamo come creatori è di aiutare la situazione che molte volte è pesante, la realtà delle volte è pesante, e quindi aiutare con il nostro lavoro a pensare in un modo positivo, in un modo gioviale, pensare che i problemi ci sono ma bisogna superarli e non bisogna essere tristi, ma bisogna essere sempre gioiosi verso la vita, accettare quello che è e cercare di migliorare. Ecco perché ci sono queste cose, come ha detto lei, gioiose, che è anche piacevole toccare perché sono materiali elastici, materiali molto sensuali, credo.
Si vede la sensualità, però si vede anche un aspetto infantile.
Sì, sono fatti così con l'attitudine di chi sperimenta. Il prototipo dello sperimentatore è il bambino o la bambina, perché scoprono la vita, scoprono il mondo. e credo che la creatività sia molto legata a questa attitudine.
Lei l'ultima volta che ci siamo visti mi parlò di sua figlia, mi disse che le prime cose, diciamo i primi gioielli li aveva mandati a lei.
Sì, è un test per me. Se questa bambina che ha oggi 8 anni ama questo genere di cose, vuol dire che ho raggiunto lo scopo. A me piace per esempio dire che questi materiali che io uso sono dei materiali liquidi, perché il nostro tempo è liquido, semplicemente perché ci sono dei valori che salgono e scendono come le onde del mare. Dobbiamo usare dei materiali che non siano rigidi, perché la rigidità ha una sola dimensione, mentre l'elastico ne ha diverse, a seconda di come le manipoliamo. La femminilità è liquida, l'uomo è molto più rigido e quindi è molto statico, è molto fermo. La storia è stata fatta da degli uomini che hanno fatto dei progressi straordinari, ma mi dà l'impressione che oggi, nel XXI secolo, questa presenza dell'uomo denota un po' di debolezza. Se penso ai governi del mondo, fatti da uomini, sono dei governi stanchi, molte volte anche non efficaci, molte volte anche non onesti. Mentre se osservo i paesi dove ci sono dei leader donne, sono molto ben amministrati, con uno spirito altruista, di servizio.
E la responsabilità di un artista oggi è testimone del tempo, in qualche modo anche una sentinella.
Certo, io dico e sostengo che l'arte è un commento della realtà. E il design anche, e l'architettura anche. Per esempio, l'architetto che dice sempre di sì al committente è un architetto che non considera l'importanza di quello che pensa. Io penso che l'arte deve prendere coscienza di quello che succede nella realtà e testimoniare quello che l'autore pensa.
Quanto è importante l'astrazione e quanto non lo è più.
La creatività dell'arte si esprime attraverso l'astrazione da 2 secoli circa. E io ritengo che invece per comunicare meglio col nostro pubblico sia invece necessario parlare attraverso la figura comprensibile. Se io voglio parlare di figuratività di questi gioielli non ce n'è se non la figuratività della materia, che si vede quello che è. Poi a me piace molto non intervenire completamente nei processi e non essere così direttivo verso la materia, ma lascio la materia che faccia certe scelte formali e quindi molte volte sono io sorpreso da quello che succede e questo mi piace molto.
È bello lasciarsi sorprendere dall'arte. In un mondo che sembra sempre voler copiare se stesso, sono pezzi unici che però sono non esclusivi al tempo stesso.
Sono unici e sono obbligati a essere unici. I processi che ci sono dietro, la fattura di queste cose, sono processi che sono estremamente umani e non della macchina. L'arte e il design, io predico da più di 50 anni che tra le due non c'è differenza. Dipende da quello che si ha davanti agli occhi. Se una cosa ci sorprende perché è innovazione, ci sorprende perché ci racconta storie importanti che dobbiamo conoscere e ci rivela mondi nuovi e ci spinge la nostra immaginazione a capire dei concetti avanzati. Allora in quel momento questo oggetto che guardiamo è arte.
La parola che associerei io personalmente di più a lei è diversità. dalla diversità come a una grande risorsa, questo vale anche per l'Italia, che non riesce a sfruttare la propria diversità all'interno.
Ma lo sfrutterà o la sfrutta. L'Italia ha queste grandi qualità che sono la cucina, il design, la moda e il saluto. L'Italia ha dato al mondo un saluto che è il ciao, che tutti usano senza sapere che vuol dire schiavo. E quindi il mondo ci riconosce queste qualità. Altre nazioni non possono dire di avere così tante specificità da dare in giro per il mondo.
Let's live the dolce vita.
Learn Sicilian is a book written by Gaetano Cipolla, and it is a primer, a grammar. It's a way of teaching yourself how to speak Sicilian. I actually brought this book with me when I was in Sicily, and I was able to really, get understood in ways. Although I have to say the Sicilian dialect is not that much different than the Pugliese dialect. I understood a lot from listening. It's just producing it. Whenever I meet a Sicilian American, I'm always told that they are Sicilian American, not Italian American. If I meet somebody from Puglia, they don't say I'm a Pugliese Americano or I'm a Milanese Americano. So the Sicilians have this incredible strong sense of cultural identity. And Professor Gaetano Cipolla says it comes from the fact that Sicilian is a language unto itself. It's a language that evolved in spite of what happened to Latin, not along with what happened to Latin. I learned at a very young age that I could understand my grandparents better the more I studied Latin. And the more I studied Italian, the less I can understand my grandparents. And that's because dialects evolved out of Latin. Well, Sicilian is a challenge to that. Cipolla is one of the foremost authorities of Sicilian American culture. He's the guy who gave Al Pacino Sicilian lessons for The Godfather. So whether you agree or disagree with the way it sounds, he was there to make sure it didn't sound worse than it actually did. What he does in this book is he gives you the sounds of Sicilian, the Sicilian alphabet, Sicilian vowel system. He gives conventions of use of pronunciation, conversations, and basically goes through, and you could take a whole course on your own with this. Is Sicilian a language? I'm not enough of a linguist to be able to argue that it is, and not a dialect or some version of Italian. But it is different enough from Italian that a use of this book would certainly help you understand it a lot better. And especially, I think it's important for those of us who have grown up with listening to a language, but we don't know how to read or write it. I had one grandmother who could read and write Italian because she had been educated in a convent. My other one could not read it. And so my sense is that I had to go back to school and learn to write Italian. So if you're interested at all in learning Sicilian, this is the book to go to. Gaetano Cipolla's Learn Sicilian, M'imparu lu Siciliano, a comprehensive interactive course published by Legis Books.
These are the events around town.
Oggi come al solito volevo una pizzetta con un po' di robetta sopra, una ricetta, un galello, un pezzetto di salame, tutto là. Oggi mangiamo leggero. My name is Roberto Tarani. I came from Nettuno, South Rome, on the beach. I came this country in '68. I came as a tourist, but then I started to do some work, and I compared the pay between here and Italy. And for 1 week work, I made a month and a half of work in Italy. So I decided to stay in this country. 90% in this neighborhood, they were all Italian. So it was like you were in Italy. In a town, you get off On Sunday morning, you find all the Italian, all they talking about the soccer game, talking about sport. It was very close because the immigrants, they stick together. The neighborhood changed because no Italian come any longer in this country. The only people left in the neighborhood, few, the old one, because the children marry and they move out. So in the daytime, right now, they're Italian because they have a business, you find the Italian. But at night, there's not so many Italians around anymore. So this is sad. It's difficult for anybody today live in the neighborhood and have a simple job. Because they used to pay $60 rent a month. Now the cheapest rent is $900,000 a month. It does put a lot of pressure on the people working. People that don't make at least $1,000 a week, very difficult to survive. Instead, years ago, people would make $100 a week, they were well off. They could do whatever they want. They have money to do anything.
Roberto!
How are you, Jerome? How do you feel?
How are you, my friend?
Very good to see you. How are you? Very good. Very good. I stopped by to pick up a couple of cannoli for my friends.
No problem. I'm going to feel nice and fresh up for you.
Very good. That's the way I want it.
My name is Jerome Raguzzo. I was born in Queens, New York, moved to the Bronx at the age of 3 months, and been here since 1957. Here, we've been very well known for our Italian cheesecake and our cannolis. I've actually been given the name the Cannoli King on the Jay Leno show from actor, producer, writer Chaz Palminteri. We've always had our business in the Bronx. We were in the corner for a few years, and then we bought this property and moved here. Arthur Avenue, as it's known as the real Little Italy, that the name was given to us. It was originally, mostly Italians. Now, since there's a lot of history here, it's very good for business owners to open up here. So now it's been a mixture, along with the Mexican restaurants, Spanish restaurants. There's been improvements, but there's also been different cultures moving in, different nationalities moving in. Because of this improvement, it's a good area to open up a business of different quality other than Italian, you know, instead of just strictly Italian restaurants. Now you got a little bit of everything. You know, years ago, and I remember there was a whole thing that years ago when you went shopping for a holiday, let's say for Christmas, you know, you used to go to Gino's for pastries, and you went to a bread store for bread, you went to a fish store for fish, you know. Now you go to these big supermarkets or these big places and everything is there. But there are people who will never change their tradition. The beauty of the holidays is going from place to place to place. Like us during Christmas time, you could guarantee it every holiday. They'll know where to get their pastries and they know where to get their fish and their bread. The quality is completely different than a Costco and other these other businesses. See, when somebody asks me, give me a phrase to describe this neighborhood, and I say it's family.
Ciao, Jerome!
Hey,
what do you do?
You're a freaking best.
How you been, boy? I'm very good. Good.
How you feel?
Good. How are you? Good. Have coffee?
My name is Marco Russo. I was born in Italy, 1979. I opened up Dolce Vita a year and a half ago in the Bronx. I opened the business in the Bronx because it's like being at home. It's mostly Italian. There's a lot of people opening. There's a new restaurants opening, so I guess that will keep our culture alive. The rents are high, but we make it though. We make it at the end of the month. Fordham University has changed the neighborhood because there's more kids coming through, there's more security, and it makes the place look, you know, we're actually more active with the lunches and them coming down to us. Actually, this is a new generation that's helping us being more secure and having more people in the avenue. So we have not only campus, we also have kids living on Arthur Avenue and on the side streets, which they cleaned up for us. Every store here is Italian. And we have a lot of customers American Italian and also Italian coming down to see us and trying out our food. And there's going to be other cultures come down to see. So we can say this could be the next Fifth Avenue. That's what I feel.
We have great plans for you starting next week. The i-Italy team is busily working on our new season. Stay tuned for a very special broadcast of the very best of i-ItalyTV. So keep in touch with us on our website for all the latest news, like us on our Facebook page, and as always, thank you for watching. Ciao for now.
This edition of i-ItalyTV was brought to you by Colavita Extra Virgin Olive Oil and Baci Perugina Chocolate. Say I love you in the Italian way.